All right, all right. Oh, mercy, oh, mercy. All right, all right. Getting a feedback here. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Back to where it's supposed to be. Peace, blessings, enough, holy, plenty, a lot of love to all our queens and all our kings in the house. Really appreciate all of you coming to this another deep dive, globally changing lives. And of course, we will commence with none other than Queen Loretta Shadari and In It to Win It. She's an international, well renowned singing and recording artist. And she has gifted us this song all the way back from in the early 2000s. Um, and we have been using it since 2021 with this program, Deep Dive, Globally Changing Lives. So welcome to you all here on the meeting platform. Welcome, welcome, Queen Tony, Pastor Tony, and of course to all our YouTube viewers that is on the varied YouTube platform. Thank you all for joining us. Really appreciate. And so, as we said, we'll be starting the program properly and officially with our theme song, In It to Win It.
the closing doors, please.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Loretta Shadari. Really appreciate, really appreciate. And so moving right along into our first presentation. And of course, as you know, I love the mindset. The mindset is the most important attribute that you can consider in this life journey that we are on. Most important because it affects every area of our lives. And so, fortunately, to actually engage in the mindset this evening is none other than international, inspirational, well renowned speaker, entrepreneur in her right, um, pastor, Queen Pastor Antoinette Coleman. And she's going to be speaking to us on how to read a low ego. So if you have a low ego, if I have a low ego, then we are going to find out how to read it. Over to you, Queen Pastor Tony.
Thank you, King Dr. Derrick, and all of my kings and queens, fellow kings and queens. Once again, it is a pleasure to be on the Deep Dive platform. I've learned a lot through the mindsets being shared through the years, and I am blessed to be here. Well, I'll tell you, when I first thought about how to read a low ego, my first impression was, low self-esteem and, not being confident and, all of those. But you'd be surprised after I looked into this information. I was really surprised because it is the complete opposite. It is a good thing. And so I'll start out sharing um, the 7 clear ways to identify a low ego. And we know that ego is not really a good thing, in that if we don't know how to put it under, as in the scriptures, Paul was always talking about how he put his body under, kept it under control, because ego gets in the way and everything goes to, pot. And we get into self, and self always gets us into trouble. So we have to always be led by the Spirit of God, by his principles, and yielding to the fruits of the Spirit as we walk in our gifts. And so ego, a low ego, is actually about recognizing humility, self-awareness, and emotional balance. Okay. And one way, the first way, is they don't need to always be right. Someone who has a low ego, they're open to feedback and correction. They're quick to say if they're wrong, they're quick to say that they're wrong. The value of truth will always win over arguments. and conversations feel collaborative, not competitive. And there have been times when I could honestly say that I was guilty of trying to be right. And a lot of times it's not about that. It's about finding the truth. And um, when I think I had shared last week, I was in a church and we were going through the tribulation and the different horses. And the white horse, when it came up in the conversation, it was stated that the white horse was the Lord Jesus. And so I raised my hand and I was in disagreement because of 2 years studying Revelations. And so it wasn't about, at first, my thing was, well, I know I'm right, and it wasn't about being right or wrong. It was all about the truth. And God is the one who is right about everything. He created the truth. So all we can do is look into it, research it, and make sure we're in line with whatever God says. And so the argument was cut off. Those teaching the Bible study said, okay, we're going to go and we're going to look at this again, and we're going to find out the truth for both of us. And I was acceptant of that. And so they came back and they confirmed that the white horse was the Antichrist, going to conquer and in peace and all that other stuff. And again, God more or less held the reins and said, no, this is not about you. And so I realized that that was an area that I had to always work on and keep before me. Sometimes I fail, but most of the time I try to walk in that, or I walk in that. Number two, they are self-aware. They recognize their strengths and weaknesses. They reflect on their actions instead of blaming others, and they're comfortable growing and evolving. They take responsibility instead of making excuses. And I thank God for that. When I worked BASF, and there was a time when I was, the department had moved to another location, and the head of the department had plans. He wanted the payroll system, which I was in charge of, to be up and running within the week. Well, my supervisor was going on vacation. She wanted me to wait until she got back from vacation, which was 2 weeks. And so I thought that she had checked in with the general manager, which she didn't. And when he had brought me into his office and he questioned why wasn't the payroll system up and running. And I was tempted to say, and I would not have been wrong to say so, but I ended up saying, well, I was going to wait until Michelle got back from vacation, and she and I were going to work together on it. And his question was, well, you know how to bring it online, right? And I couldn't lie. And I said, well, yeah. But I didn't tell him this, but I felt that I needed to give her that recognition as being my head and that respect and following her lead, because maybe she knew something that I didn't. But I didn't tell him that. And so I let him ream me out. I should write you up and all this, but we're going to wait for Michelle. And I have no regrets behind that. I knew how Michelle had been going through so much, and I didn't want that to be one more thing for her. So I didn't mind taking that for her. Not to say that we should always take the blame for others, but we should always approach those people in letting them know what the cost is in their decisions if it involves us. And that's where I fell short. So instead of, you know, um, getting Michelle, okay, let's both of us go and tell Kevin that this is what our plan is, and we all be on one accord. But it didn't happen. So they take responsibility instead of making excuses or blaming others. That was a responsibility I should have taken if it had, if I was considering that. Number 3, they listen more than they talk. They give others space to express themselves. They don't interrupt or dominate conversations. They ask thoughtful questions, and they feel heard and understood around them, or you feel heard and understood around them. And again, that's an area that, I'm pressing more into. So, in going through the identifying low ego has really helped me identify areas that I need to work on, areas that I'm pressing forth in, and, becoming a better person. I think it's First or Second Peter. He talks about adding daily long suffering, gentleness, and all those other good attributes. We should be working on them daily. And then 4th, they don't seek constant validation. They're not dependent on praise, titles, or attention. They're confident quietly without needing to prove anything. They do things because they matter, not for applause. Their confidence feels calm and not loud. And a lot of times, I would run into people, and it was all about the title, how dare you, and all of that, and especially in business situations. I would meet the regionals and or the owners. When I was in property management, we had owners walking our properties, and they would just walk in like they owned the place, which they did. But a lot of times we didn't know that they were the owners. And so I was a little menacing when one owner came in and just walked into the office like he owned it, And I followed him and I said, "Sir, can I help you?" And it was just the way that I said, it's like, okay, you're gonna, you don't just walk in here and ignore me. and so we know ego. But he introduced himself and sat down, and all he could do was just laugh. And he says, "Oh yeah, you're gonna set me in my place." And I said, "Well, yes, sir." But they don't seek validation. Titles they don't have to have a title, or they don't have to be praised, but they know who they are, and they have confidence about doing what they do. And when and you have the experience, and you've had the training, and whatever it is, and that you've been taught, and you have your own self-validation, and you have God's validation, then that's it. That's it. It's all about God. And even Jesus, he had said, "Hey, if you don't believe in me, then at least believe in the works that I do in my Father's name." Believe in that. And so, just as one of the examples, of not seeking constant validation. Our validation should come from God and who we are, who we know we are, and whose we are, as it's been stated many times. Number 5, they respect others equally. Treat everyone with dignity, regardless of status. Don't look down on others or inflate themselves. And they don't celebrate others' success without jealousy. Or they celebrate others' success without jealousy. They uplift and not compete. Uh, I remember when I worked at the London luggage shop, and we had a customer come in, Mr. Man, I forgot his name, but it's something right. And he came in, he was in these scrubbies and dirt in his face, work hat, hard hat and everything, and work boots. And he looked like he had, a whole truck of sawdust had been dumped on him when he came into the store. And it's a high-end store. The London Luggage Shop is a high-end store. And so there's hardly anything in there less than $100 or $200. So he comes in, and when he came in, the owner and the general manager did not want to wait on him because of the way he looked. So I went over, I think his name was Wainwright. And I said, hi. And, it was his first time in the store. And I, introduced myself. He introduced himself, and he looks at a $500 bag and he says, how much is that? And I said, it's $499 or $95. He says, okay, put that aside for me. He says, how much is this one? And I said, well, it's $700. He says, I want you to put that aside. And this was a duffel, and it was a Dooney and Burke. Both were Dooney and Burke bags, and they matched. So he says, I'll be back tomorrow to get them. I want to buy them for my wife and take her on vacation. I said, okay. So I set it aside. The next day, the same gentleman came walking in, and he looked expensive. He looked expensive from head to toe. And expensive watch and the whole works. And I said, oh, hi, Mr. Wainwright. And the owner and the general manager came running out, and they wanted to wait on him. And they were excited because when he walked in, it was money. And so he says, no, I don't want you to waiting on me. I want the young lady who waited on me yesterday. And their faces completely changed. And so one of the things that, I thought about what the scriptures said about be aware who you entertain, because you could be entertaining angels unaware. So be careful or be thoughtful of who you're dealing with. And we should always treat people, no matter what they look like. We should always treat people with dignity. And that was a day that really brought to life the teachings that the Word of God gives us. And so number 6, they handle criticism with grace. They don't react emotionally or defensively right away. They consider feedback thoughtfully, and they use criticism as a tool for growth. They respond and not react. And I know it's not always a good thing when you receive criticism. It doesn't always feel good. But T always would tell me, she says, nobody likes criticism, but when she goes back and she thinks about it, then she's very appreciative, because it's something. We all have blind spots, and a lot of times we don't always see them. And so when someone comes and points out a blind spot, it's something to consider. And especially if there are other people, when there's more than just one person coming and letting you know about something that you have habit doing that you may not be aware of being offensive, or being causing some type of sadness, or whatever it may be. And so it's always good to, think it through and be thoughtful, about what the feedback is, and whether or not it was given in love, or whether or not it was given because, they just wanted to point out a flaw. And sometimes that can happen. But then, that's where prayer comes in. That's where forgiveness comes in. That's where having a discussion about it comes in. Okay. And then number 7, they are secure and not insecure. Okay. A healthy low ego means you know your worth, but you don't need to prove your worth constantly. Your confidence without arrogance. And I like that. Your confidence, but you're confident, but you don't have to be arrogant about it. I had a friend in high school, and I remember him saying, because the guy was very talented. He was a straight A-B student. He was on the football team. And I said, how can you be a jock that smart? That's just all against what others think of sportsmen. But it didn't bother him. And he says, if you're good at what you do, you don't have to prove it to anybody. And that stuck with me. If you know that you're confident and you're good at what you do, you don't have to prove it. It speaks for itself. And so you going back through everything, or let me say, having a low ego is not being a pushover, lacking confidence, allowing disrespect, or even shrinking yourself. And at first, when in researching this, that's what had come across my mind, because when you think of something low anything, anything that is not high, that is low, you think the opposite, you think the negative. But a low ego is not a pushover. It's not someone that lacks confidence. It's not allowing disrespect, and you're not shrinking yourself. And so going back through the ways to identify it, number 1, they don't need to always be right. Number 2, they are self-aware. Number 3, they listen more than they talk. Number 4, they don't seek constant validation. Number 5, they respect others equally. Number 6, they handle criticism with grace. And then the last, they are secure, not insecure. And so I hope everyone was as blessed as I was in going through all of this. And I learned and more or less went through my own little checklist and things that I had to, or I have to constantly work on, and things that, I'm getting there. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. And so thank you all for listening, and I appreciate you all.
Okay, Mercy. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I love that piece that you gave, that testimony, if you want to call it that, about the gentleman that close. Oh, Mercy, what bike? All right. In the raggedy clothes. And and he purchased, or he put on hold, put on hold a 700 and a $500 bag. Oh my goodness. And you just took his word in faith. Wonderful, wonderful. Not many people would do that. Not many people, right? Too often we look down on people just by how they dress, how they look, and that is a wrong way to live life. Very wrong way to live life. Thank you very much, Queen Pastor Tony, especially for um, that experience. I guess if he if he gave you a $200 tip, that other sales clerk would 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 be very sad. Anyway, wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me just check. Um, all right, everybody is just saying in the chat, wonderful presentation. Thank you very much. Really, really appreciate. Just let me. All right. Well, nothing in this chat here, but on the YouTube channel, they are really elated, right? And giving thumbs up and all of those things. All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Pastor Tony. Anyone want to oh mercy. Also, I didn't select the raise hand here. Okay, my apologies. My sincere apologies. Okay, so the raise hand is there. All right, go ahead, Queen Dr. T.
Noon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Excellent presentation, Tony. Just thinking about what you said about low ego, I think I would probably rename it, even though I know what you were saying. I would just name it as being a healthy ego, a healthy ego, and I think it's part of being your most authentic self, and that's how I would describe it all. And going back to the illustration that you gave about the gentleman who came in dressed, because I guess he was coming from work. Maybe he was in construction or wherever he may have been. Okay, and you recognize that. But when I think about our Lord and Savior, and I really thank God that I can speak freely about this on this platform because we're all on one accord in that area. When I think about our Lord and Savior, I think that one of the issues that Judas had with Jesus, one of the disciples who betrayed him, is because he did not recognize whose presence he was in. He looked at him as being just, it was like he didn't understand that he was dwelling and working with the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. So like the guy that you met in your store, he didn't recognize his position. He thought that he was supposed to come in with the crown and the sword and the horse, the white horse, coming in charging, because he's going to deliver his people. And he delivered his people, just not the way he thought he should have delivered it. So that's a perfect example of how we take someone's appearance and we judge it. And that's what Judas did. That's why he betrayed him. Not because he didn't love him, but because he didn't come the way he thought he should have come. He didn't betray himself the way he thought he should have been betrayed. He didn't recognize whose presence he was in. And oftentimes, we're all guilty of it. Like Dr. Derrick said, how many people would have done that? And I think that, I'm not trying to toot my horn, but being that I have that kind of personality, I think that maybe I would have done something like that. I don't know. It's happened to me before where I don't look at people that way. Some people are what they look like, and they are that way. And then other people, like you just said, are not like that, not like that. So I think that when we have a healthy ego, we're going to display those 7 qualities. And like you said, there's something that we have to all work on, because God has not given us a spirit where we're supposed to be haughty. He wants us all to be humble, but at the same time, we should feel good about ourselves because of the image that we've made in. He made us. He didn't make any junk. We were fearfully and wonderfully made. And therefore, we should all have a healthy ego. We all should have a healthy ego because of who made us. He didn't make a mistake. He didn't say, oops, what did I do that? No, he knew exactly what he was doing. So I think it's wonderful that you gave this presentation, and I think it was, the seven values or the 7 actions were right on target. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I didn't hear you. You're on mute.
Oh, okay. All right. Thought you was going to say something. All right. Yes, definitely. Well, um, I kind of have a little slight different view as to the story. I don't think that she recognized anything. I just think that she deal with people as people, and
Mm-hmm.
and, and that is the way to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether he's in construction or he's a plumber or he's sweeping the streets
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and picking up
Respect each other.
garbage, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. We
Mm-hmm.
are to view people as people,
Mm-hmm. I
as
agree.
somebody. Doesn't matter
Yes.
what they do, doesn't matter what they have on, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter your assessment.
Mm-hmm.
Just deal with people as people. Deal with human beings as
Mm-hmm.
human beings, because that's what we are. We are all human beings
Yes.
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 created by God Himself. So,
Yes.
whatever life throw your way, life might throw a lot of salt your way, and you're in a situation, but you are still a
Human
human
being.
being.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you
Yes.
whether you're in the palace or you're sitting on the street or living on the street, you are a
Amen.
human being. And that is how I believe Queen Pastor Tony treat that person as a human being. And
Mm-hmm.
hallelujah, praise the Lord. Fortunately, it was a decent human being. But whether they're decent or they don't decent, deal with them as a human being. That's how we are to do it. Thank you very much.
Um,
Over to you, Queen Pastor Tony.
I just wanted to add that later on, we found out that he was the owner of an international multi-million dollar company, possibly a multi-billion dollar company. I think it was Computech or CompuWare. Um,
So it's
so
not even construction.
yeah, but he liked getting down, and he loved construction. To him, it was like having a Lego set, but it happened to be buildings. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
loved that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, as you all know, if I'm going to do a presentation, this is how I dress. You understand? And this is really how I dress if I'm going on the road. But like today, I was doing a little plumbing on, on the kitchen sink, right? And run out in my coverall to get a little part at the hardware store. So hey, it happens sometime. Happens sometime. All right. So you know, just deal with people, as human beings, right? Because every one of us have nose, eye, ear. Well, maybe not here, but anyway, nose, eye, hand, foot. just deal with people as people. All right. Yeah. Yes. Oh, Queen. Queen. Okay. All right. Wonderful. All right. So thank you very much, Queen Pastor Tony. That was awesome. 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 And looking forward to your presentation next week. I see you gave me about two.
Okay, Dr. Derrick, are you trying to get rid of me? I mean, just go ahead and say it. Just say, look. Okay,
No,
okay, Dr. Derrick. Now I'm being nice. Okay. Now if you just want me to if you just want to get rid of me, just send me a message on your WhatsApp. Just let me know.
no,
I know how to bow my head and gracefully and just bow out now. Just let me know. And Tony, you trying to take my place? Tony, what are you doing?
In Jamaica, they will say. In Jamaica, we will say, we you lap your tail between your legs.
hey, I'm good. I really do appreciate you guys, and I appreciate just taking a little break. I appreciate that. So thank you so much,
Okay.
Dr. Derrick.
Yeah, man, wonderful,
Okay,
wonderful.
thank you.
All right, blessings. All right, thank you very much, Queen Pastor Tony. Awesome. However, let me just slide right in with a presentation here on computer and technology. Right. I would like to quickly show this. Hopefully it is short, a short video. Let me see if I can find it first. But I just want to give a quick video on it, seeing that it is there. This is going to take a little while. All right. All right. I guess I lost it. Oh my. Computer. What did I name it? Let me see. Oh, computer 9. Oh, number 9. Okay, so that's this one. All right, so it's loading now. All right. Wonderful. So we just want to look a little bit on this other aspect here, which has to do with creating a safe workspace. That's what we are looking at now or this evening, quickly, is creating a safe workspace. Take a look.
Does staring at the computer for hours make you feel tired? Do you suffer from frequent aches and pains? Looks like you could use some help with ergonomics. Ergonomics is a big subject, but basically it's about you and the things that you can do to make your workspace more comfortable. As strange as it sounds, sitting at a desk all day is actually very hard on your body. But if you arrange your workspace with ergonomics in mind, you can avoid things like eye strain and neck and back pain. Here are some tips to help you stay safe, comfortable, and productive all day long. Keyboard position is important. When you're typing, your wrist should be straight and relaxed to avoid any strain. If you do start to feel any wrist pain, you might want to look into certain products that can give you extra support. For example, an ergonomic keyboard. Next, raise and lower your chair so that your wrists are in the correct position. If your feet no longer reach the floor, you can find a footrest. When you're in your chair, you should be sitting in a natural, comfortable position. Try to avoid hunching or sitting too straight. Many office chairs are adjustable and designed to give you extra support in places where you need it, like the lower back. Take the time to learn how your chair works. Your monitor should be a comfortable distance away from your eyes, somewhere between 20 to 40 inches, or about an arm's length. The top of the screen should be about eye level, but this may vary depending on the size of the monitor. If you are working from a laptop, consider purchasing an external mouse and keyboard. That way, you can still place your screen at the proper distance and height while still being able to type comfortably. Adjust the screen brightness on your monitor so that it matches your surroundings. If you're looking at your screen and it feels like you're looking into a bright light, it's too bright. If it looks dark and murky, it's too dim. Some monitors also allow you to change the color so that the screen emits less blue light. This feature might be called night mode or night shift, and some people find that it greatly reduces eye strain. Another way to avoid strain and fatigue is to take frequent breaks. For example, look away from your monitor every once in a while. 20-20-20 is a good rule to follow. Every 20 minutes, focus your eyes on an object 20 feet away for 20 seconds. You can even download apps that'll remind you when it's time to take a break. It's also important to get up and move every hour or so. Walk around, have a snack, whatever it takes to avoid sitting in the same position for too long. Even if you work at a standing desk, it's still important to move every now and then. Clutter is another common problem, and it can lead to strain or injury if you're not careful. In some cases, like loose power cords, it can even be a tripping hazard. If you have paperwork or supplies that can be put away, it's best to store them somewhere else instead of leaving them on your desk. Let's review. Sitting at a desk all day is surprisingly hard work, but a little attention to ergonomics will help you stay safe, comfortable, and productive all day long.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. That was a quick little video overview of what we are going to be looking at quickly. That kind of went a little fast, so let us kind of take a look at it again in a little bit more details. All right. All right, so it says here, creating a safe workspace. The safe computer workspace is essential for protecting your physical health, ensuring digital security, improving focus and productivity, preventing injuries, and also cyber threat. A well-designed workspace supports both your body and also your data, physical safety, and ergonomics. That's what we're going to look at this evening. Ergonomics is the science of designing workspace, tools, and tasks to fit the user, which is you. Focus, fit the job to the person, not the person to the job. Why ergonomics matters? Reduces injuries, increased productivity, improved comfort, prevent health issues. Yes, it prevents health issues. All right, so it is very important, very important, as we are seeing. common injuries, MSDs, right? You have carpal tunnel, you have back and neck pain, eye strain, and tendinitis. Those are some common injuries that you can get. And based on the fact that most of us, sit for long hours at computer, because like most jobs now is has to do with some amount of computering, because everybody leave the farming and other things that mostly cater for physical, even delivery. You have to sit down for a while to drive to the different places. So a lot of jobs now is sitting, right? Cause for poor ergonomics, poor posture, right? We're not sitting up because, of course, our back is weak because of the sitting, and so we don't do any physical exercise, make it worse. Planking is one of the quickest, easiest way to help strengthen your posture, right? Repetitive motion, which of course is just sitting. So the only motion we do is sit and stand, right? That's it. Try to have a adjustable desk. That's what I invest in. All right, adjustable desk. So sometimes you're sitting and sometimes you're standing, and you can still be working, right? As right now my desk is high, where I do my presentation, but sometimes I lower it and sit. All right. Bad setup, right? Need to set up your office or your workspace so that you can stand also at times, right? No breaks. You just work 3, 4, 5 hours just sitting. Very bad, very poor. And of course, poor lighting, right? Poor lighting. You need good lighting, right? Try to invest, especially if you have a home office, or you work from home, right? Or you work at an office and you need lighting. If the office light is not bright enough, or if your home light is not bright enough, try to invest in some good LED lights so that you can see properly. One, neutral posture, right? Try to sit upright, right? Don't lounge back in the chair, right? Even if you're in, if you don't have a good computer chair, and a good computer chair is not cheap, or is not, yeah. Well, maybe you can get them, but you need one. You need lumbar. Your computer chair must have lumbar support, which is that sink in your lower back, right? You need to have lumbar support, or you sit up straight without leaning back in the chair that you're sitting in, right? Reduce force, minimize repetition, take breaks, right? Take breaks. Um, Back supported. I remember they talk about the 20-20-20 in the video. Back supported, right? Remember the lumbar. Feet flat, knees at 90 degrees, right? And relax your shoulders, head aligned, right? Try not to be looking too far up or too far down, right? Look level and in line with where your eyes are. So if you need to adjust, especially if you have a laptop, right? Sometimes the laptop screen is very, very small. So best thing to do is have an external screen, where you can be looking forward most of the time. All right. Proper sitting posture, very important. Workstation setup. Monitor at eye level, right? When the monitor is at eye level, then you will need to tilt your head down or to raise your head up, right? Keyboard at elbow height. So if you're working on a laptop, preferably get an external keyboard and also an external mouse, right? Most laptop come with USB, so you just plug that right into the USB connection and you're good to go. So that you can position your hands properly and you can position your elbows properly, right? Because your mouse need to be nearby, right? So when you have a laptop, first of all, the laptop would need to be eye level, the monitor. And if the monitor is eye level, then you, of course the keyboard and the mouse pad is way up in the air. So therefore, you're going to need that external mouse and keyboard. All right. Supportive chair, as I was talking about, the lumbar must be protected, right? Arm's length away, right? Which is your screen, the monitor position must be arm's length at least. You should not be up in your monitor, right? Yes, they call it a laptop, which means you should have it in your lap, but no, it's not good for your posture, right? Tilt slightly. That's the monitor. Need to be tilt, so it need to be up there in front of you. Like my two screens, external screens is kind of on the wall up there, right? Because of course my camera is up there also, so therefore I can look up there while I'm doing what I'm doing, right? Reduce glare. I put my computer, all my computers I put on night mode, because when I put it on night mode, most of the monitor is dark and it's just the writing that is light or yellow in this case, or I try to find a kind of dark blue, that some kind of darker color background, right? So that piercing light. A lot of people just leave the white mostly, and the white dominates, and so it does glare in your eyes, right? Straight wrist, right, which is your mouse and your keyboard. And so therefore the best thing, if you have a laptop, invest in a external mouse and keyboard, preferably, and it's more cost effective, preferably the corded one, right? Preferably the corded one. It's much more cost effective. Light typing, don't bang on the keyboard, right? Because you're going to be putting a lot of strain on your fingers. Make sure the mouse is in reach. So if you are using a laptop, especially, you know that the mouse is always on the laptop. And so you're going to be stretching most of the time because it is not going to be in your lap. All right, wonderful. Chair ergonomics, adjustable height, lumbar support, and arm rest, right? Stable base, right? And so adjustable chair, they are not cheap. They have a little cost to it, especially if you are going to get a good computer chair. One of the best computer chairs is the ones that the gamers use, because as you know, gamers, they're sitting down for very long in these games, right? But they have everything. They have side support. It have lumbar support. It have adjustable arms, so it fit, because from your shoulder to your elbow, everybody's shoulder to elbow is a little different, a little longer or a little shorter. So you preferably get an armrest that is adjustable also, right? Very important. And the ones that can move, right? Swing in and swing out, right? Very good, very good. Okay, lighting and eye care. Lighting and eye care. The white, the white, um, bright white, the bright white LED lights Those are the better one than the ones that kind of look a little brownish, right? When it's turned on, kind of look a little beigeish. No, those are not really good for your eyes. Well, when I'm working, my LED light is behind my workstation, not in front of me, where I'm looking in the light. No, my light, when I'm doing presentation now, then I have one off to the right and one off to the left, right? So it shows up the front part of my body for the presentation, right? But when you are working, make sure you have the light from behind you, mostly. All right. Um, Good lighting, avoid glare on the screen. So you have to put it where the glare is not on the screen. And of course, they did mention the 20-20-20 rule, right? Sit for 20 minutes, look at something, I mean, every 20 minutes, look at something that is 20 20 feet away. Let me see if it's 20 feet or it's 20 inches. Yes, 20 feet away. Every 20 minutes, look at something that is, 20 feet away for 20 seconds, right? So that you can get a little different, preferably also while you're looking away from the screen for that 20 seconds, you also stand for that 20 seconds if you have been sitting, right? So so when you're every 20 minutes, look at something that is 20 feet away, stand, and for 20 seconds also. Just put that in there. So take breaks. Breaks every 30 to 60 minutes. So anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes, take a break. Stretch, right? Do a little planking, right? Stand. Maybe, well, I mean, if you have a adjustable desk now, every 30 minutes you adjust your desk and you stand for 30 minutes, right? And you can do some tippy toes, right? Or stand on one leg. Very good for your posture, right? Stand on one leg, right, for as long as you can, and then stand one on the other leg for as long as you can, and things like those, right? So that you can keep working if you have to. So it's not everybody can take a break every 30 minutes. Do understand that because you have a deadline. So therefore, invest in a good adjustable desk, right? Invest in a good adjustable desk. It will work in your favor for the long run, right? Of course, the office is a little different from the home and from industrial and from the mobile uses that you might have, right? Bend your knees, keep load close, and avoid twisting, right? Some people, oh my goodness, they bend up in the chair. From once you have to be twisting, it means that you're sitting too long, right? And when you are lifting, bend your knees, right? That is a safety for bending for lifting things. Bend your knees, um, keep the load close to you, and avoid twisting. So lift straight up, hold it close to you, and then you move in whatever directions. Benefits: productivity, less absenteeism, and better morale, and of course, low cost. And listen, people, employers are looking for any reason now to fire people. So be careful if you are having a job and you have to adhere to the production, right? I would advise you to they have some like a desktop um, adjustable desk, that you put on the desktop, you put on your office desk if you are working from an office. They have some like a portable desk, adjustable desk that you can put on your desk, and so that you can stand, right? Warning signs if you have headaches. A lot of people have headaches when they are at work, especially when they are on the job. Back pain, wrist pain, eye fatigue, right? So please remember that. Ergonomics at home, use proper chair, raise laptop, and use external keyboard and external mouses. Neck stretch, shoulder roll, backward, forward, right? Shoulder roll, right? And wrist stretch, right? Some people use a ball. Yes, I do have my little ball on my desk, right? So sometimes I clench my ball also, right? Little quick exercises. Um, Access setup, make adjustment, use tool, and be consistent. That is how you implement these things, right? One step at a time. And of course, small changes matter. Prevent injuries, invest in comfort. Any questions? Thank you very much. All right. Mhm. Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. Over to you, Queen Dr. T.
Excellent presentation, Dr. Derrick. Excellent presentation. Uh, didn't know. Well, it's common sense, but it's not. A lot of information. Uh, Fortunately, I don't have the kind of career where I'm on at the computer all day. I really don't spend a lot of time at the computer, but I do when I'm writing. Because I know when a person is writing a book, and I'm pretty sure Queen Miriam can contest to this. When you have that, when you're in the mood for writing and your mind is very creative, sometimes you have to stay on that keyboard a long time to get everything out. You know what I'm saying? You don't just take breaks like that. So that's something that I would keep in mind when I get ready to start writing again, to get up and take breaks and everything. So I think it's an excellent presentation, a lot of valuable information. Thank you so much.
All
Thank
right,
you.
wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Dr. T. Yeah, I thought because we're living in a sitting down world now.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
even though you might not be working, you have people
Mhm.
that sitting down and watching TV.
Mhm. Yeah.
And all of those things. It's a sitting down world we're living in now, Go
Mhm.
go ahead, Queen Pastor T. Sitting down world.
Oh, uh, yes, I'm always sitting down and sometimes for hours working on stuff because I'll get engrossed in it and I want to finish it. I'll set, um, I'm going to do this in 3 hours, or I'm going to get as much as I can. And when I was working in key entry and the computer room, that was a big thing that they enforced because after so long, they would make us take a break and walk or whatever. We were not, at one point, we weren't um, allowed to sit at our desks. We had to get up. And, but yes, and I thought about that while you were going through your presentation on ergonomics and health and, how we should be working. I'm like, oh my goodness, more changes I'm going to have to make. And, because I find myself doing this and, because of the long, yeah, and doing all of that. And yeah, um, getting sore and realizing I'm sore or stiff. So I know that you are absolutely correct. And I'm going to have to institute a lot of that good advice in my working life. So thank you, Dr. Derrick, for all that you share with us. It benefits us greatly. At least it benefits me quite a bit, and I appreciate you.
Yes, wonderful. All right. Queen Nancy says she sit long at her computer also. Oh my goodness. And I forgot to take 15 minutes break just to move. Now I'm starting to have lower back pains. All right. So Queen Nancy and anyone having back pains, the best, quickest way to address that is to do planking. Planking. So that's PLANKING, planking. Just put in YouTube basic planking exercise, right? And they'll show you exactly how it is done. And I'm telling you from experience, it works wonders. It works wonders. All right. So please, um, yes, Ashmafari has not given any much updates. Just recently, I think it was Monday. Monday. Today is Monday, so it's not Monday. It was last week, Thursday. Was it Thursday or Friday? I don't remember. But he updated the Victory with Ash website. The Victory with Ash website was updated either Thursday or Friday. Don't remember which day. All right. So they are working. They are working on stuff. Just don't have anything yet to update really on as yet. He has opened up the circle. He has opened up the circle so you can invite anyone, not just unpassive people. You can invite anyone. So that really is the only updates. So quite possible things will soon roll, but he hasn't physically said anything as yet. Queen Dr. Nadu, he
Thank you
hasn't
so much.
said anything as yet.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So just hold on. Still working on things in the background. He's updating the website and so on and what have you. So it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. He's still around. He's still around. He's not AWAS yet. He's not AWAS yet. All right. Um, any other question? And of course, if you haven't gotten your book as yet, The Heart of a Servant, um, you know, try to get one of those books. The book is fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. All right. Any other questions or comments? Anything else that anyone? Let me just check YouTube and presentation. That's real journey. Um, Ergonomics. Okay, yes. All right. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Nancy. All right. Yes. So really appreciate everyone at this time. We're just going to ask Queen Pastor Tony to just give her closing.
Okay. Well, like I said, in sharing, um, you know, um, understanding the low ego or a healthy ego, as Dr. T has suggested. This person is confident, they're humble, they're teachable, and secure enough to not make everything about themselves. And they highly esteem everyone on equal ground. And, you know, uh, the signs are good to have before you. And like the scriptures encourage us, we should always work on being a better person than we were the day before. And it also says in First or Second Peter, one of the two, that if we work on these things, we will never fall, or fail, because we're always keeping in mind being a better person than we were the day before. And so just wanted to share and encourage everyone.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Pastor Tony. Oh, where is it? Hmm. Too much gadgets around this side here. Mercy. What is this one? Oh, that one. That one. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Queen Pastor Tony. Really appreciate, really appreciate. Your workspace. Your workspace is more than just a place, right? That you just plop down and do your thing. Your workspace, it's a system that supports your health, that supports and protect your information, and enhances your productivity. When you create a safe workspace, you create a better you. Please remember, your workspace is not just another place that you plop down and do what you do. Let it be safe, let it be secure, let it be a place that you keep healthy, you stay healthy, and you have production on what you are doing. Thank you all very much. Really appreciate. Really appreciate. Thank you very much, Queen Pastor Tony. And thank you very much, Queen Dr. T, for your kindness in allowing Queen Pastor Tony to make that presentation on the ego. Really appreciate, really appreciate. For those that are on the varied YouTube channel, thank you all for coming. Really appreciate on the varied YouTube channels. And thank you all who are here on the meeting platform. Thank you very much, each and every one, all the queens and all the kings that are here on the platform. So at this time, we are going to pull the curtains down on especially the YouTube. We'll be here for a few little more minutes. As you know, we have our after party. So thank you all very much for making it deep dive, globally changing lives.